And this is the end of Battle Hardened Los Angeles. If you were betting against Brodie Spurlock, why?
Why?
Because he has defeated the Katsu that was against him. It's interesting. I know a lot about Anthony. He's the Honda pilot. He is the guy who drove everyone here in his 2017 gray Honda pilot.
You call this man the Honda pilot?
He is the king
And he's
of
your
his
friend?
friend group.
Jeez.
He drives the pilot. Can he pilot this deck to victory? I think everybody's rooting for him for
Audience is
sure.
everywhere.
What's interesting is, what did we do? Did we really make him a player profile?
That we did. Anthony Pham in the top 8, facing again
Right.
Kid Power, Boy Wonder, XP McGee, Brodie Spurlock.
Right.
Let's take a look.
And Anthony, he's won a AGE Open before,
Mm-hmm.
so let's bring it home. Let's defend SoCal here
This-
against the #1 dude in the world versus the #1 dude in SoCal.
This is it.
Who wins?
This is Brodie Spurlock versus Anthony Pham. Both of them, 2 of the 4 Lexis that made it to the top 8, and they are here to battle in the final of the Battle Hardened Los Angeles. Let's go ahead and
The
get
battle hardest road.
ready. Come on. The road less battled.
The road less battled.
Come on, baby. So let's take a look. Let's talk about what's going to be the difference here. We're looking at Anthony's list and Brodie's. Let's talk about the differences. Now,
No battering bolts.
no battering bolts.
3
for
battering bolts.
3 battering bolts. I think for my money, I think this might come down to two main differences. Anthony Pham is running 3 Artivores. We'll see if he brings them in for the matchup. He is not running any Ice Quakes, whereas Brodie Spurlock not running the Artivores, but is running the Ice Quakes. Both players running 2 Arctic Incarcerations, but I really think perhaps the difference in those ice cards are going to be the story of this matchup. Again, I don't know what they're going to bring in. I don't know what their game plan is against, so to speak, each other or in the mirror. But if for my money, I think disruption could be a large part of who ends up taking this game. Because if both players are just left to their own devices and left to run buck free and buck wild throughout the
I would hate that.
the convention center.
Let's get some disruption,
Yeah.
please. I don't want anyone to get buck right now.
So, yeah, I mean, I just think that perhaps could be the story of this game, depending on what both players elect to bring in here. But critically, Anthony Pham, as the second seed, is going to elect to get to
Ooh,
choose
that's really cool.
if he wants to go first or second. And
I
you
love that about these rules.
And,
It would suck to, I did a little bit better and not be able to, and I got to hope I get it for a dice roll.
This
That'd
is
be
an
great.
exciting finals here at the Battle Hardened Los Angeles. 2 Lexis battling through the gauntlet to make it here to the finals. And you'd be surprised. Maybe not you, Blake, because you really
I
keyed
get
up on
surprised.
all
That's
things
fine.
flesh and blood. But these matchups don't always go swingy. Who gets the first 3 of a kind? Who gets the Rain Razors? Often because the cards like 3 of a kind allow them to block, allow them to play a little more of a mid-range game. These matchups can go a little more back and forth than I think some people might expect.
Right. And I think there's something between a mirror match of the mirror match isn't exactly what we're doing whenever it comes to I'm going to run my game plan. These are both aggressive decks, and now it's take it a step back. We're going to play some mid-range.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're good at running over people, but what happens when you can both run over people? Can you do your best to stay above ground? What metaphor are we going to use here? Should we use a boat? No.
Not about okay.
This is the summary. Let's just stay above ground,
Sure.
not get into a graveyard.
That's the
Yeah, dude, that submarine thing was crazy.
That was crazy. Took the world by.
None of these people lost twice today, right? Both of these are still only 1 loss all day long.
These are X1s, I believe.
Good for them. That's pretty hard to do. So you're gonna have to win 9 games if you want to be Battle Hardened champion. When's the last time you won 9 Flesh and Blood games in one day?
Yesterday.
Yeah, against my dog, Mimi.
Dang. Well, your dog's no joke. Your dog's cracked.
I don't even have a dog. Oh, okay. So we're gonna. I don't know if they do life totals or we do life totals on this one.
They should be doing life totals.
Oh,
Hopefully
okay.
somebody can head
Somebody's
over
gotta touch
there
a
and
phone soon.
make sure they're doing the life totals. But Brodie being put first here by Anthony Pham. So Brodie going to now here we go. Here we go again with that back and forth of the Lexi mirror, because anytime you pass priority, perhaps your opponent is going to go ahead and activate the Voltaire and load some arrows. But if they overextend and they load too many arrows and are left without cards in hand, suddenly you can be pushing arrows of your own, getting some damage across if they decide to load their Voltaire too much.
Right. All we're doing is Voltaring an arrow. Let's build a 6-card hand and hope Anthony doesn't have a command and conquer.
And here, Anthony not electing to load anything of his own because he doesn't want to give Brodie the chance to capitalize, again, on less blocking cards in Anthony's hand. So he's going to go on his own turn and just load and fire a bolt and shot. This is coming in for 5, and it is threatening the reload.
Great. Let's threaten reloads. Let's get ahead. I think, who are you rooting for if you're I'm rooting for Anthony. I don't know. Yeah, it is weird because it's like Anthony's somebody that I've been playing with for 2 years, started both on Brutes, and he went, I'm going to play competitive way, and I went, I'm going to have fun way and complain about everything way. So it is interesting of like, this is what I could have done if I was as good as Anthony and like dedicated to, he's been on Briar, he's been on Kano, he's now first time he's trying Lexi. Finals of a battle hardened, which this is insane.
Yeah, it's really incredible to see, and coming up against, just an incredibly formidable opponent in Brodie Spurlock, who just has been taking down events, top 8ing Pro Tours left and right. The first attack did come in for 5, so Brodie should be at 35, and then this is a hamstring shot coming in for 6 as we work to get the life totals fix on the screen. Which should be happening momentarily. However, this is a hamstring shot for 6. Again, it's not just damage on hit. It would take Brodie down to 29, but would also represent an extra resource on his very first attack on the next turn.
Frostbite, technically.
Yeah.
It's like you
Frostbite at home.
You hurt your ankle, and you need to pay 1 more to get it a little better. Brodie is taking down everyone that shows up, though. So it is like, this is a final boss. I think this is a very much like, very interesting thing of how good are we for Anthony. I have beat everybody in my meta multiple times with multiple different heroes. I think he is somebody whenever he goes to Pro Tours and beyond, maybe he's looking to be somebody who's always in a top 16 forever and ever again and assert himself as somebody that's like, oh, you don't want to see me in round 1 of those bigger tournaments.
Absolutely, and he's done so right now, proving himself by making it to the finals of this battle hardened. He's established a bit of a name for himself on the national scene coming up against Brodie Spurlock. So this is going to be, it should be 29-40 here. The hamstring is online.
We're just going to write it on the back of a piece of paper so we can always just kind of have one going. 40 for the Anthony, 29 for the Brodie. I wrote it backwards, so it's harder for us to remember.
So activating Lexi here. This is going to go ahead and reveal the Icequake and give a Frostbite over there to Anthony Pham. We're going to play the Icequake now. Activate Voltaire. This is going to be an endless arrow. Normally there would be only, there'd be 2 floating, or the Icequake will cost the 1. So this is going to take up all the pitch off that blue pitch because of the hamstring shot.
Right. We do have people trying to get the phone to work. I think we didn't look at the phone for a whole hour, and the phone was like, I'm tired of this, and just started messing up.
So this is now an endless arrow coming in for, it was 7, now it's 9, and another Frostbite on hit. So that's the thing for the rest of this chain. Attacks that hit are going to do more than just damage. They're going to be representing disruption as well.
31. Okay, we do have life working now.
Yeah, so 2 Frostbites over there for Anthony. It's going to be hard to have much of a turn unless you have something like a 3 of a kind or a way to move through those Frostbites because
here comes another Frostbite if this hits. Or is that how that works? Icequake is every time?
Yeah, it's the whole chain. And this Bolton shot now again represents a reload and has go again because of the Rain Razor. So this is a huge return from Brodie. He only had to take 11.
Why he took 11, yeah.
But again, I think if you're Brodie, again, your opponent only had 4 cards to start the game. So even though if you're Anthony and you elect to go second, you only have 4 cards to start the game. You only were able to throw 11. Lexi can do so much more than that, but critically they have to have an arsenal to start. And so here, Anthony was able to put his opponent down 11 life, but is now facing back a significantly higher crackback.
Right. Because we haven't even calculated all the health damage over here. 25.
With 3 Frostbites, do we see a 3 of a kind? Not in the hand. This looks like it's going to go ahead and just be blocked out because without any further pitch, there is not going to be any way to load an air without the bullseye bracers.
So first couple turns fast and loose, but we won't have 6-card hands anymore.
Brodie going to go ahead and arsenal that last card, draw 4. Now we're going to see what can Anthony do with 3 cards into 3 Frostbites. Tunic's going to go to 2.
Tunic, flip. That's a 3 of a kind. You thought Now we're just going to get arrows off the top or not at all. So it is kind of scary. Never punished.
Oh, yeah.
Are any of those red, though?
Two blue cards in hand is
they
able
look
to.
kind of blue to me.
Yeah. But this is what we were talking about. Three of a kind is the exact way you can fight through those 3 frostbites.
Rustling leaves, though. Who cares? We can get a different arrow.
True.
Trade one of those blue arrows into a red arrow. That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
Brodie's kind of like, okay, whatever.
Brodie Spurlock sitting at 29 to Anthony Pham's 25. This is the finals of the Battle Hardened Los Angeles.
Which all these people started at 10 this morning. So have we hit the 12-hour mark yet or not quite? Nope. Almost 12 hours to win the whole thing. With Olden gone, is the Abyssal Quiver going to fall to the wayside? I doubt it. Are they touching health again yet? Drill shot. Put it on the tunic. You get to have your tunic the whole game. That's the only thing he'd probably block with, though, because we don't want to use the New Horizons if we don't have to.
A snap take there. That should put Brodie down to 27. We're going to go ahead and load again.
Somebody's got to start touching health.
Oh, yeah, they're working on it.
Because I thought it was working for a second. Okay. They just haven't pushed the buttons. They're like, this is the last thing I worry about. I'm trying to win $17,000, or how much is it?
Yeah, I think it's 17. So we did go ahead and activate the quiver there to get one of these arrows in. So this is going to be a red infecting shot.
This is the big one.
This is coming in for 5.
5 plus 2. Give me 2 cards or take 7. 7 is a third of your health, basically. Yeah. Dude, Yichin said, I am so bored. I'm going to yawn on national TV.
Brodie
It's
Spurlock.
very hard to be a head judge. We had another person open up their judge pack.
Yeah, what did they get?
Another Arclight Sentinel.
Yeah,
Apparently they're in every pack these days.
Yeah, come on down to Southern California. You can get, there's more than just celebrities here. There's
Angels.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
Sentinels.
Wait, is this the City of Angel?
Yeah. Come on.
That's why there's...
That's why.
Every single pack is an ALS here, because they were doing that for us.
Brodie Spurlock facing down this red infecting shot. Every block matters in the finals of a tournament like this. These players have been playing all day. Let's see how they want to navigate this turn here. 5 damage coming in. You need at least 2 cards to block it, unless you want to throw the New Horizons. But that, I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm gonna say that that's not the play. I'm gonna say that that's not the play.
Taking 5. That's pretty
Anthony
gross.
Remembering his trigger, and we're just gonna arsenal our last card.
Nice. 2 ice cards in Brodie's hand. Will we see any of those get played for frostbites? Flip the Searing. Load up another arrow. Doesn't have any floating. Okay. Makes sense. Whoops.
We're going to go ahead and activate Voltaire, pitching the winner's bite. This is now coming in with a red infecting shot.
Are you worried about blood rot pox if you're Lexi, or are you just like, oh, Lexi, who cares?
I feel like at this point, perhaps with Ponders off Codex, if you already have redundant cards going into your arsenal, you have a way to pay through it. But most of the time with this deck, you're using all the cards. And if you're not using them, you want to be blocking with them. And if it's an arrow, most likely it blocks 3, and that's more than 2, right? So you're going to want to use it to block if you're not going to use it on your own turn. But these Lexi decks are so effective at using all these cards because they need a card to pitch into the Voltaire, and then these arrows, often they can reload themselves. Often they can draw you more cards.
Right. Pathing Helix, go do whatever.
Yeah. So this looks like it's going to also just
I'll
be
also take
disrespected.
5 plus 2.
Anthony taking the 5 there. Coming in after that is Brodie with a Bolton shot for 4, not threatening the reload. So Anthony just going ahead and taking 9 so far on this turn. Should be
Jeez.
down to 16. And there it is.
clicking,
There it is. Both players with the blood rot. Both players deathly ill at this point in this game of Flesh and Blood. Brodie's used Voltaire twice, is deciding how he wants to go from here. He's got a Searing shot face up. Both Lexi has been used and the Voltaire twice, and we're just going to go ahead and drop
Arctic.
3 Frostbites over there onto Anthony Pham. He said, you're keeping all your cards?
Sucks, dude. I'm going to do what? How much damage was that? That was like 9 damage.
9 damage and 3
then give
frostbites.
you a basically. I hope you have a blue, but there's a Frostlock, so a blue is there. That wasn't what he was planning on paying for, but it helps. What's crazy is that was a big turn, and you're only quote unquote down by 4, so who cares? Flipping the Lexi there to get rid of the frostbite. We're gonna searing shot, flip.
Now those are 3 red cards left in his hand, so this is going to be, you know, those 3 frostbites to even activate your Lexi and turn on your extra arsenal zone.
Kind of sucks. We're gonna use this arrow first, trying to get a block, beta block. If this comes back in hand, you could always use it to pitch for a different arrow.
And Tunic there
Choose to do
being
so.
huge for the Voltaire activation, so you don't have to use one of your cards in your hand to pitch into the Voltaire, right? Being able to throw the endless arrow in that represents basically
Right.
drawing a card, just using your Tunic, it's a great turn to cash it in for the Voltaire after being taxed through those 3 frostbites.
It is interesting. Brodie has a little bit more tablecloth on his side than Anthony does.
What do you think that's about? Favoritism?
I don't. Just probably a little bit warmer, you know. It's kind of cold in here because everybody left, but the air conditioning stayed on.
That's going to take a 2-card block here from Brodie, maybe representing a 3 of a kind if he says, I can block with 2 cards. Maybe saying, on my turn, I can draw 3 more, and it's going to be like, I didn't even block. But now this is just a searing shot for 4, meaning no go again, meaning Brodie's going to take 5, go down to 15. Or it did have go again.
Now here's a blue one.
Yeah, excuse me, it would have been 5 without the go again.
Okay, we are just the leading health bars right now.
Yeah, because that Blood Rot's going to take Anthony down to 14, Brodie down to 12.
And if we had set a timer, we would know how much it was. But, you know, we were just so excited.
Why do we
for the
even need a
finals.
timer? At
Yeah,
this point, they're on time.
It's
We're
like
going
8 minutes only.
We're starting with the Tunic. The Tunic is going to go ahead and put in, again, Brodie now also cashing in
It's
his
like they're
Tunic.
drawing the same cards back to back.
And this is going to be a searing shot 4-4. Coming in here at the finals of the Battle Hardened Los Angeles. Another searing shot 4-4 that represents more life
Wow.
than that. This is going to take the Tunic
Is there a
out of
3
Anthony.
of a kind or something?
We're just going to Arsenal. So,
Okay, I feel like everybody's played this kind of matchup where you're just like, we both want to get each other low, and then we're just going to go off.
well, at this
But
point,
premeditate's not going off.
so this will be an infecting shot for 9. Even if Brodie takes it
Sheesh.
all, he still would be able to go down to 1 at the end of that turn because
Right.
that's only 2 off the Blood Rot. So, and then he's going to be playing without an Arsenal on his next turn. Brodie doesn't have any block available to him on his Tunic because of the drill shot from earlier in the game.
Brodie is a methodical robot. It almost feels like he's bored. He's going to just say, I don't care. Here's a, okay, that's nice.
Yeah, we're blocking 3 with, we're blocking 9 with 3 red cards, 2 Falcon Wings, and a Remorseless, ticking up our Tunic.
If you're in Simi Valley right now, you're crossing your fingers and saying, I hope this isn't a 3 of kind in Arsenal.
Oh,
It's a
we're going to go ahead
Codex.
and Codex. So this is going to do some real work here. We're going to be able to go get something like an Endless Arrow.
Codex in the mirror match is nice because it's almost like a blocking card. Oh, all those 4s are now 3s. Great. That sounds great to me. I'll just block with 3s if I need to.
Absolutely. So he went and got a Searing Shot, which is going to represent 5 damage if unblocked, and is now going to allow Anthony to put whatever arrow he wants back into his arsenal before discarding a card. So Brodie here, you know, really didn't want to take that Blood Rot damage, didn't want to take 9. Those were 3 red cards in his hand that he didn't like the way that they were lining up for himself, so he's going to go ahead and send 5 and use the Ponder to set up a 6-card hand and try to probably close the game out very soon after this. He's basically saying to Anthony, can you kill me from 12? Can you take cards out of my hand from 3 cards and a card in your arsenal?
Can he draw Command and Conquer?
That's true.
Fingers crossed.
Did he bring
the
it in?
chat.
This is going to be an Endless Arrow for Anthony back into his arsenal. The Frailty is going to keep it from being a breakpoint on his own turn. However, here is that Searing Shot. Is Anthony going to block it? Does he not? Does he see the writing on the wall in terms of what could happen on his very next turn? Does he feel like he needs to preserve any life here?
I think what was interesting is I was like, oh, maybe you could block with New Horizon, but that was turned off by a Codex putting an arrow in. Of like, oh, it wouldn't be too bad. We're going to take 2 here. Down to 7. Yikes.
And then now here comes the Ponder, which is going to allow for a 6-card hand for Brodie on his next turn, as long as he doesn't have to block with anything.
Can
So
Anthony pull it out?
we have that Endless Arrow still in hand, and that looks like a Falcon Wing as well, so not a lot of pitch to begin this turn. We're going to start with the Endless Arrow. This is only going to be for 3, so this is an easy 1-card block for Brodie if he wishes it.
Just let me put this back in my hand. I heard Anthony talking earlier against his first match against Brandon, and it was like, I'm just, oh, and if this hits, I'll put it back in my hand in his normal Anthony fun voice where it's like, I'm going to ruin your life if you let this hit. I don't know how worried you are if he could just, what else does he have in his hand to do endless arrow 3 more times and then survive with just 3 left? Or maybe you block the last one because you don't care and you want to keep as many cards.
Well, yeah, and the rest of the information on this turn is unknown for Brodie. He knew about this Endless Arrow. He saw it come after the Codex. And again, how enticing is it being able to block an Endless Arrow for 3?
Right.
How enticing is it
You
to deny
only
that card
get
draw?
punished if there's a Rain Razors.
It's true.
There's always a Rain Razors. Always, always, always a Rain Razors. I would say there's always a Rain Razors in there.
Already checking that arsenal, seeing what he grabbed off the ponder.
But, once again, this is an untimed round.
And he's never lost one of those in his life.
Yeah. We gotta, from now on, top 8 can be timed rounds because Oldham's not here anymore. And if you draw, you both lose.
That doesn't seem like it.
No, that's not fun. Okay, we'll do on-time rounds. This is a long think tank block.
Yeah, this is a big block for Brodie here. You know, those 2 cards could be anything. We could be, loading and, getting a card out of our hand to use a Codex. We could be throwing another arrow. But we know that it's a Falcon Wing and an Endless Arrow. So if that Endless Arrow comes in with Go Again, now Brodie's going to be put in the same place where if he doesn't block that one, then he's taking additional 5. Oh, because you have 2 Snapdragons
He's
here.
not blocking it.
And this is going to go right back to hand, because without the Go Again naturally, this is when the Snapdragons have to be cashed in. Brodie going down to 9.
This is the time where you know, okay, there's probably not a Rain Razors. So I could block with 3. But now, what do we have? Double Endless Arrow?
It is, in fact, double Endless Arrow. So once again, though, still just coming in for 3 here because of the frailty. So now we're looking at, once again, you can just block this out if you wish. You pretty much know there's no Endless Arrow. Or, sorry, no Rain Razors.
This has Go Again, though.
This one does have Go Again. And, yeah,
Cool.
you definitely know there's...
So we can use the Bullseye Racers. So basically, the Frailty token is going to block 3 this turn. So if Brodie survives with 3 right now, it'd be crazy. Because that would basically be represented by the disease of frailty.
And technically, Brodie, this could just be that same Endless Arrow. Brodie, there's no way to know that there's a second one yet, because this could just be the same Endless Arrow he got back into his hand. So is he worried about a Codex? Is he worried about something, continuing to apply a frailty to himself, to Brodie, and then setting him up with a ponder, if you're Anthony here? But again, it's so different being able to block an Endless Arrow for 3 instead of 4. You can just throw a card in front of it and stop
I would do it. If that card said 3 on it, I think it would be pretty fair.
Sure.
Because it would be like you can only use it when you have buffs instead of just willy-nilly and hoping for the best at the end of your turn. Not that cards don't have to be fair. This is Flesh and Blood.
Brodie here going to go ahead and just let that card come back into the hand.
Pitch. We don't know if there's another arrow yet. Just kidding. This is for 4 now.
Unless it just has the Go Again, which it does, so it's still going to be for 3. Because the Go Again represented, if it hits, he now is able to Bullseye Bracers it, which means Brodie sees the writing on the wall. All right, now I have to block.
Take 6?
Take 6, keep 3 cards.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think there's just decisions that players are making that it's like so hard to like, oh, I get what you're doing here.
We can see a Rain Razors,
so good right now.
which does not block, so might get pitched into this Winter's Bite, which is going to require, I believe, 2. That looks like a yellow. So let's see. Brodie took 6 off those Endless Arrows before finally having to block because of the represented lethal off the Bullseye Bracers. So what is going to be either discarded or pitched to this Winter's Bite?
And then he took sips of his water.
Nice. Huge. Huge. Critically for Anthony here, he had the Rain Razors and the 3 of a kind in his hand, but forced out by the disruptive effects of Brodie, and this is going to be an Ice Quake in the 3 of a kind. This is a huge turn to potentially take control of the entire battle Hardened.
So what happened this game? We drew some ice on one side, but there is more ice in Brodie's.
Yeah, this is what we were talking about.
Kind of like if we are going to be playing the mirror match, because there's 37 Lexis today, I need to have a plan into it.
Well, and kind of what we talked about at the beginning of the game, perhaps the story of this game does come down to those ice cards and the disruption, the ability from Brodie to apply just a little bit more interplay between just damage, between here's some frostbites, here's some taxation effects. That might be enough to put him through into the winner's bracket. So we're blocking here with the New Horizons because this is going to represent another card draw if it comes back to hand. So this is for 7. We still have the Withering Shot in the arsenal to come in. There's only 1 card left for Anthony Pham. What are the 2 cards left for Brodie? Can he find enough damage to close it out here, or just take control and take the tempo to close it out on the next turn?
Only 1 arsenal from Anthony for the rest of the game is like not kill me status, but it is kind of like, oh geez, like how are we gonna do this? The Rustling Leaves used on Anthony's side, not on Brodie's too, so that's always kind of like an extra lingering factor of like, oh crap, what is this gonna turn into?
Pitching a Command and Conquer for this Withering Shot. We are able to Snapdragons it if we want to use the Bullseye Bracers, and he is not going to, just electing 2 damage to come through. He's going to set him. They're checking to make sure no arsenal or no reactions need to be used. 2 damage coming through, so that will be a Frailty token, and Brodie's just setting himself up for a 5-card hand to potentially try to close this thing out on the next turn, as Anthony just is having to draw back up to 4, pass on back.
He's going to be on the ball the whole time from now on, basically. The only way we get around this is there's just a brick hand with no arrows, but now there's a quiver that makes that not a real thing. Winner's Bite is going to do so much work at the end of this game. Those are the ice cards that are just so punishing of like, this is Intimidate, but you don't get your card back.
Yeah, and that Tunic block early, you know, he was able to do it because he wasn't under the drill shot effect like Brodie is, but because Anthony had to give up that Tunic for the 4 damage arrow earlier in the game, there are no Tunic counters to be fed to these Winner's Bites. These are taking cards every single time.
Right. I think one thing that's probably going through Anthony is like, this is what I've been doing to people all day. I guess neither of these people are going to get karma for, like, oh, geez, Louise,
Here's
immediate
a
3 of a kind
in a row.
This is that's got to be like, okay, great. Like, I have 3 cards to block. You have 9 cards to attack me with. I wonder what the math is on this.
Lexi activation most likely coming next for Brodie here. Is this the turn that he closes out the battle hardened Los Angeles, or will it be not as effective, allowing for Anthony to perhaps find a way to claw back into this game?
Tune in to find out. Just kidding. It's going to happen in 5 seconds.
You're already tuned in if you're here. Thanks for watching.
Brodie's got it, says Christopher Bishop. It's over, says Taco Time. Just kidding. He said simply draw better. Rain Razors. Can he play Rain Razors? He did.
Yeah, that's from Arsenal.
It was from Arsenal? Oh, my goodness.
That's crazy. I mean, that's just crazy. We're seeing a Rain Razors 3 of a kind turn.
So I need to open up a New Horizons from a pack so I can play this deck.
There's we had one of our incredible vendors here and sponsors, Collected Legions, right over there. Just go get a box.
So true.
This is a Pathing Helix, and again, that's a very relevant effect. The reload. This is going to take 2 cards out of Anthony's hand. We're sending a Remorseless in for 7. We're going to block for 3. We're going to take 4. Bullseye Bracers very well is going to start this game. The Bullseye Bracers is going to load in the Searing Shot for 5, taking 6. Anthony Pham falling to Brodie Spurlock. Boy Wonder, Kid Power, XP McGee coming here to Los Angeles and taking the crown of the Battle Hardened champion for his very own.
We threw Orange County at this dude. We threw El Monte at this dude. We threw Pasadena at this dude. He said, I don't care. I've been all around the world, man. You're going to have to speak some other language to beat me, man. English? No chance.
Brodie Spurlock.
That's 3 wins in a like Saturday, Sunday, Saturday.
Brodie Spurlock coming in, adding to what is already such an incredible resume here at the Battle Hardened Los Angeles, taking down the whole tournament. And, you know, the dude probably needs a PTI, honestly. He hasn't. Probably doesn't have enough of those.
Yeah,
probably doesn't have enough PTI.
There's one for his mom. There's one for his dad. He's probably got a brother and a sister. They can have one of those. Who knows? It's so crazy. I think what's interesting about our lovely SoCal people is we've got another 2nd place at a Battle Hardened for our community. And, like, we got 2nd place last time, or not that Brian Moss isn't part of SoCal.
World Championship, 2nd place?
2nd place there. we're just so good at getting second, where it's like, damn, like beat LA, beat LA. Like I was gonna try and do this all day, and now it's just sad, you know.
What an incredible
But
tournament.
how can you do Brodie with your hand?
That's true. Try.
No what? No shot. B. No, because it just turns into that one thing where you're just like, oh my gosh. We'll see if he opens up his card. Who knows? We're gonna have a quick interview with the winner. That'll be Sam doing that because I gotta go cry in the bed.
Understood.
I was hoping Anthony would pull it out, but that's unbiased commentary, you guys. It's not gonna happen at AGE, you know.
Hey,
We like to be part of the whole experience here.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for an incredible day of Flesh and Blood games. Don't go anywhere because we are going to have Brodie Spurlock himself here for a quick little interview before we say goodnight for the evening. Hear his thoughts on the day, his thoughts on the matchups, and what he thinks about the meta going forward. So we'll be back in just a couple minutes, and we'll see you soon. Welcome back, everyone, for the last and final time here to the battle-hardened Los Angeles. We have the winner himself. Kid Power, Boy Wonder, XP McGee, Brodie Spurlock is here. I've been calling you that all day. He is here as the winner. Firstly, how you doing, man? Congratulations.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. It's been a long day. You were just saying.
Yeah. I had so many intense games of Fab today, like really long. My quarters game it was on stream, right, versus the Oldham. That was like intense. The end game was weird, but yeah, tons of fun. I had so much fun today.
So intense, meaning you had really good opponents.
Yes.
Meaning the California players really came to play.
Honestly, I felt like my opponents were really strong. Yeah.
Look at that. Everyone in the chat bad-mouthing California. I don't know what we ever did to you except for the law that makes all the things. It's always like, this has been known to the state of California. Yeah, we apologize for that.
I felt like my finals opponent was playing really, really well.
Yeah, Anthony Pham. He's kind of a local legend here in the scene. Been playing a lot. But talk to me about, you were playing Oldham back at the most recent Battle Hardened. You're playing Lexi Day. What made you bring that to this tournament? You know, this was your last chance to play Oldham, and you elected not to. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so I was flip-flopping a lot. This morning I brought both decks and both deck lists with me.
Wow.
I really do want to play Oldham just because it's kind of a last chance to.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, one last ride, which maybe I'll do that tomorrow at the PTI event. But I honestly just all in all feel more comfortable on Lexi. I feel like it's like slightly better into the field, like just more likely to win games.
Sure.
So ultimately, I've had this choice before, like right before Chain and Starvo LL'd at a ProQuest. I felt better about Starvo for winning the event, but I really just wanted to play Chain one last time, so I played Chain.
Sure.
And then I fittingly lost in the finals to Starvo.
Nice.
So, but today I just decided that I felt like Lexi was the better deck, and I just wanted to play the better deck.
For sure. Yeah, and hey, I think it worked out for you. It seems like you did all right.
I do not regret it.
Yeah. So looking forward, moving into Dust Till Dawn, what are you excited to be playing? I asked you this a couple times last time we were on stream together, but hey, now you're the winner. Now there's even more clout attached to your name. So looking forward in Dust Till Dawn, what are you excited about? What are you sniffing that? What are you sniffing out in the meta?
So I was a big Chain fan, so I'm primarily really excited to see what Vincent looks like. I'm a Runeblade guy in general, so super excited for that. But then also Fino's tweets have been getting me kind of hyped for Prism.
Dude, I know.
Like, yeah. Clearly there's like some spice there.
Yeah.
He's been like, because I know people were kind of not super hyped about the new weapon. They weren't really sure like how it's going to work. And it sounds like maybe Fino's seen something that means Prism's going to be really good.
Yeah, so excited to see as the spoiler season begins to ramp up here. But any final thoughts on the day? Any shout outs you want to give to the people at home? We got dinner reservations. You're welcome to come if you want. We're all gonna go hang out. But any final shouts? Anything you want to say?
Shout out to my mom. She's here with me.
As always.
Shout out to my team, the Wolfpack. I think this is the first event since I joined the Wolfpack where I'm the only one here. So
and look at that.
Showed up for the team.
Took it all down. And that's good for the Wolfpack. The Wolfpack, they're a really up-and-coming team in Flesh and Blood. Haven't won a lot of events, so it's really cool of you to put their name on the map like that. That's really awesome. They haven't won anything. But once again, congratulations, Mr. Spurlock.
Thanks, Sam.
Thank you for coming in. From all of us here at the Battle Hardened Los Angeles, thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you to our sponsors, Fabric, Collector Legion, Savage Lands News, for all of your incredible support. And Brodie, where should they stay tuned tomorrow for the AGE Open event? Where should they stay tuned?
Stay tuned here, right here, for the PTI event tomorrow. I'll be playing. There'll be other people playing. It'll be great.
You heard it. You heard the man. He's the winner of a Battle Hardened. You have to listen to him.
You cannot leave.
You
Stay
can't
all night.
Stay all. Oh my God. Okay.
Well, okay. Sam needs a break. Come back in the morning. Come back in the
Incredible.
morning for more great action.
You heard the champ himself, so thank you all so much for hanging out. We had so much fun. It was a long day, but we're looking forward to another incredible day of Flesh and Blood tomorrow, right here, same channel. Don't go anywhere, but we will be seeing you momentarily in a couple hours. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.